everybody. Welcome back to Winter Wednesday. My name is Samantha Cardenas. I'm your Southeast Region Vice President, and today we have.
Andy and Yo-cheng.
And what
We
place did you guys get at Nationals, and what was your event?
we were networking design and we placed first at Nats.
Awesome. Okay, so the first question that I have is, what got you into FBLA?
Me personally, I was going into freshman year and I was looking for things to do, and there just FBA just kind of caught my eye because there was a lot of people doing it, and there's numerous events that seemed interesting, and there was also some friends who were older than me who recommended it to me, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a try.
hmm Yeah, that makes a lot of sense getting into it because you have people that you know that are in it.
Yeah.
Um, Once you decided to compete, how did you prepare for your event? How did you decide
So,
on the event?
oh, so the way we decided was we had someone in our school who also placed really highly in the event, and we thought that since we already have some sort of kind of a mentor, it would be more, it would be slightly easier for us, right? And the way we prepared was we studied for the tests by finding previous practice tests, and that really helped us. It was just hammering out practice problems. And for the presentation, we had a general game plan going into it, which allowed us to be able to free up more brain power for like answering questions.
Yeah. Since FBLA covers so many topics, how did you manage your time while studying for how broad of the event is?
Well, the event is actually really broad, so when we first went in, we didn't really know what to study. But after like regionals and state especially, we kind of have a general idea of what actually is going to be on the test. So we focus on those areas. And we also asked other people who did the event before what we should specifically study for, and that really helped a lot.
Yeah, like having other people that you know who've taken it before.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you specifically prepare leading up to state and nationals? Like, was it different or did you prepare the same way by just studying?
Um,
So for I think before states we mostly went off of general guides and videos off of YouTube. And then
Mm.
after states, we were more refined. We understood a bit better. And then, like again, we started doing more practice problems than anything.
Awesome. Do you think that FBLA has helped you with your leadership and confidence?
I'll say so, yeah, because before we didn't, this was kind of like my first really high achievement. So before it was kind of like, I never thought myself to be such a great presenter or speaker and have
hmm
great technical skills. But after this experience, I'd say that, now I can know that I can actually do presentations and have some skills and know what I'm talking about certain topics. And that has definitely helped me with my confidence a lot.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, like having just more confidence in presenting.
Yeah.
For anyone interested in doing this event next year, what advice would you give them?
Like mentioned before, the topic is pretty broad, so you should probably do general research on it, just like find YouTube guys on the internet and YouTube, and then after your school's personal regionals or just any resources you have, you'll be able to narrow and focus on more specific topics. So you have to start broad first. For the presentation, a lot of people struggle on in terms of nervousness, so I'd say you want to present in front of your friends and family to, prepare yourself for an audience.
For the
Yeah,
presentations, I also like to suggest just having a general script before going into the like actual event. I mean, obviously it's a role play, right? So you don't know what situation you're gonna get, but because it's gonna be pretty similar. Like you can pretty much guess like what it's going to relatively be. So for us before nationals, we basically had two sets of scripts that we're gonna go off of, and when we actually got the prompt, we could immediately apply one of them, and that saved us about 10 minutes of preparation time, and we can actually rehearse. And moreover, that'll make us actually know what we're saying better because we already practiced so many times, right? So we
yeah,
were more confident when we were speaking to the judges.
yeah. So just like the confidence and being prepared.
Yeah. It also really helped with time because in a role play, I feel like time management is the most difficult part. It's always really easy to spend too much time talking about something and then running out of time in the end. Like even at national level, we were talking to some of our competitors afterwards, and about half of them said that they didn't even finish. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you think talking to your competitors helped you a bit with like understanding it?
yeah, but we mostly talk after, so it's more of like a reflection, I guess.
Hmm. Since this was a team event, how did you guys like divide your responsibilities when it comes to competing?
So, in terms of studying, in the beginning, we kind of just did our own thing, right? In the beginning, we just found our own resources and went off of that. And then, at States and at Nats for both of them, we did a bit of studying together. So that was mostly individual. Presentation wise, we both worked on the script, right? And we divided the labor out by having specific sections. Like for example, we had three solutions. So Yo-cheng would do the first and second solution, and then I would propose the third one, and I also intro and conclusion it. So we just divided that and memorized our own specific parts of that script.
We will
Yeah,
also
okay.
present to each other, so to just as practice, but also meant that if someone forgot to mention something in their part, the other person can cover them and mention it during their presentation time.
Cool. When you guys were like designing your presentation, was there anything you disagreed on and how did you get over that?
Yeah, there were some parts that we didn't know if we should keep or not, and there was some disagreement. But how we would resolve it is we would try to keep it or not keep it, and then see how the presentation felt or time control and things like that. So it was more based off of the result of the presentation if we decide to keep or not keep an element, and then we'll go off of what is better.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. When you were going into the competition, what skills did you need like going into the event? Like what was your most important skill you thought that was important to this event?
The most important part was probably time management because at Nats we were down the wire. We ended at exactly 7 minutes, so that's the cutoff time.
Yeah.
So time management was probably the most important thing that we took into us. For states, I don't think we even finished, so
Oh,
it's just
dang.
really important to have that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just making sure that you're getting all your information in.
Yeah.
yeah, on the spot thinking is also really important because sometimes the judges just throw such a curveball of a question that you
Mhm.
really need to have a deeper understanding on the broader subject, like maybe beyond what the event covers. So you can list out specific examples from like real world examples so that you can show the judges you actually know what you're talking about.
What are some real world examples that you guys used in your presentation?
So for state, they our situation was like making a network design for a large client that include like Amazon and things, and judges asked us a question about security, right? Because we proposed a Linux server, and he said, wouldn't that be more dangerous because it's open source and there has been numerous attacks before, and since his client's so large, he wants to make sure that his data is safe. So that's kind of a little bit beyond the scope of what was covered inside the rubric. But me and Andy personally, we were both pretty interested in computer and technology before this. So we were able to list some real world examples of how there was backdoor attempts being added to the Linux distro, but it was caught within, I believe, within 24 hours of it being published by developers all over the world. So we were able to prove that it is indeed more secure than other operating systems such as Windows. And I think that in the comments afterward, when he got the rubric, he said that he really liked the answer and it really showed that we know what we were talking about.
So knowing exactly what you're talking about beyond just your presentation really does help when it comes to answering
Yeah,
questions.
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Another question I have is, how did you guys feel when you found out you won first place?
It was an experience, right? It's like on stage, it was like more calm, and then as soon as we got off stage, we started kind of celebrating, and it was
Yeah.
like adrenaline. It was like kind of a high, and it's just like it's something else.
Yeah.
I think we know we were gonna make top 10, just like based off of feeling, but
Yeah.
we thought that we were gonna place on the lower end. We thought we were gonna place like maybe like
We
ninth or 10th.
yeah.
Me personally,
Yeah.
when I got up there, it was like I was like still fully conscious at like eighth place, but then as they kept naming like names off, right? Because they name the higher you are, the last they name you. So it was like I just kind of stopped thinking. I don't know. I was just kind of there. It felt really surreal, especially after like third place, because as we know we're top three, and then
Hmm.
it was just yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like just like the adrenaline of the
yeah,
anticipation is
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot. Has this winning this event, has it influenced what your career plans for the future are?
I mean, both of us have always been pretty STEM focused, and network design in
Mm.
itself is a STEM thing, right? You're working with computers and just general networking. So It hasn't really affected it, but I'd say it's more focused my career trajectory, right? Like it's like it's originally I had a more broad idea of what I was gonna do, and this just like helped me narrow it down a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just like it helps you narrow down exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were had the chance to revise your work or like redo something from your project, what would you improve or what would you do differently?
I'll say I should be more focused on the role play part before nationals because before Nats we were really focused on the test part. But I'd say that the test was actually the most important part. Like you just need a passing score because one of our friend who was also doing this event, he got really high on the test, but his role play didn't do that well, so he didn't make it. And although we got lower, right? I felt our presentation was really good at the national level, but before on states and regionals, I'd say we could have probably practiced more and done a lot better.
Mhm. So to wrap up the interview, is there anything else that you want to tell people about network design?
I'd actually say that if you're already interested in computers and already have like a background experience with it, it'll actually be a really fun and relatively easy event as long as you actually study for the objective test, which is the hardest. Well, it's really niche, so the
Mhm.
objective test is pretty hard, but the role play should feel pretty familiar and actually really interesting and fun if you already are interested in the STEM field.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd say another thing about it is it's a like a great entry level. So even if you aren't especially interested in computers, it's still role play, right? You're still getting experience off of it, and it's I'd say it's really interesting. It's one of the better role plays in my opinion. I might be a bit biased, but that's just me. Yeah, I think it's a great entry level, and yes, the objective test is pretty difficult, but it also teaches you to good studying habits and what to study, as well as finding resources. That is pretty important, and it just sets you up pretty well for future events.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being in this interview and have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. You too.